Everybody, so we are going to try to answer some questions. There are a ton of them, so we're going to try to be as fast as possible. And what I'm thinking is, right now, while Mike is home, we're going to together answer the questions either that are for him or pertain to our family together. And then sometime when he's not here, I'm going to finish the rest of them that are sort of more directed towards me. So, first one is, what was Mike's reaction when he first started watching and making YouTube videos? I don't know.
I thought it was great.
Honey.
We live in a city where we don't have all that many friends or all that many friends with kids, and so Katie found a community online that she could share things with and ask questions and learn stuff. So I thought it was great.
And that's my memory too, that he's always been supportive.
I'm glad you have a good memory.
Yeah. All right. Mike, did you have a rough time adjusting to fatherhood? Did it feel overwhelming to you?
I didn't have a rough time adjusting. It's just sort of, I don't know, it sort of becomes your life, right? So one day you don't have a little human, and then the next day you do. And I don't know, I didn't have any conflict I'm going to do whatever I want, and I'm not going to accept the kid, or, I don't know, that, I want my old life back. I didn't feel like that. Certainly it changed, but you just sort of, I don't know, I accepted it pretty easily.
You're a keeper.
Thus far.
Yeah.
Thus far.
Okay, how has having a child affected yours and Mike's relationship?
We don't go out a lot or do a lot of stuff, and we don't have all that much free time.
Yeah.
That's about it.
You have less intimacy for sure, too. I know people are wondering about that probably. But that's part of the first year, I think. And just sleep is pretty precious.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mike, what is one thing about Katie we might not know about? You go ahead and tell them after I'm going to turn off the burner.
Well, when Katie and I met in AmeriCorps, and we did a service period of about 10 months, and right at the beginning we were on the same team and we worked and traveled together, and she may have already told you about this. But early on in the service year, she was riding in my car because I was taking a bunch of team members, I think to an Applebee's or something. And I had an old mixtape in my car, and Bikini Kill came on, which was an old punk rock band, feminist punk rock band from the late 80s, 90s. 90s. And I sort of flippantly asked, is there any former Riot Girls in the car? Not thinking that there were, and Katie said, yes! And so I thought that sort of was the first inkling that maybe we had something in common. Anyway, so she used to be a Riot Girl.
Which probably no one even knows what that means, but...
I don't know, it's bands like Bikini Kill or Huggy Bear.
It's pretty obscure. It's
Sleater Kinney, or it's a group of feminist
women's punk rock bands
that
and a sort of scene around that.
Around the Northwest.
Yeah.
In the 90s.
Yes.
Late 80s, 90s.
All right. How do you feel about a life without ketchup?
I have ketchup. I don't have it at the house, really, but that's okay. I have ketchup when I go out and get a burger and fries or something, and that's cool.
What one thing do you love most about each other? I can start. I will say that... Well, the first thing that comes to mind is that Mike is such a good father. I mean, he's just come into the role so naturally, and that's something that is hard for some people. But he's just, he's a good one.
It's true. Katie.
I also like that Mike.
Yeah, there's more stuff.
There's a ton, but I like that he's creatively oriented. He's into music and movies and art, and I really like having that influence in my own life and learning about things from him that way. And I just think it's important. I like that element that he brings to our family.
Kiddo's about to grab the camera. What do I love most about Katie? Well, I mean, she's a great mom, but you probably already know that.
Don't steal my answers.
You gotta sort of say it back. But it's true. She loves learning and reading, and she is smart and engaging and tolerant and progressive. And so, I don't know, we fit together pretty well.
Yeah.
And she reads, well, she used to read a hell of a lot.
And now I barely read it all.
She's much better read than I am.
What is an annoying habit that bothers you about each other?
There's
So
a lot
hard to
of
pick
those
just
too.
one.
I don't know, annoying habit. I think Katie sometimes doesn't realize the tone in which she is talking, and I think that causes tension between us.
That's fair. I think something that bothers me sometimes is that Mike is like obsessed with having background noise and like queuing up the exact right, music or whatever at all times. And sometimes I just want to eat. I just want to start a meal, and I don't care what's playing on the stereo or whatever.
Prevent you from eating.
That kind of thing. What kind of sense of humor do each of you have, including Alice?
Alice, she has this sense of humor where if you make funny faces, she laughs, and if you throw her up in the air, she laughs. I don't know, I think we both have very sort of dry, sarcastic senses of humor,
Yeah.
which we find endearing and funny, but there are people in the world that don't.
Yeah. Or maybe we come across as being like really cynical or something, but it's just joking.
It's jokes.
Nice.